No better sight than that roof peeled back as it is tonight. Rangers baseball presented by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts, and it's a giveaway night tonight as you get the Wyatt Langford cycle bobblehead coming in. Rangers and Rockies opening game of this three-game series. Yeah, and that's what it looks like from inside. That thing open and a gorgeous night tonight for baseball. All right, welcome in, everybody. It's great to have you along with us tonight. I'm Dave Raymond with David Murphy, and we're all set and ready to go. The team back home after a 500 road trip, feeling pretty good about that. They finished strong with the series win in Detroit, and now, Murph, they get a struggling Rockies team and one of the best pitchers going right now in the American League on the mound.
Yeah, so we come into this season with Jacob deGrom. We know he's an ace. He's going to rebound. And then Nathan Eovaldi. But Tyler Mahle has been a guy that has just been opening eyes all around the league, and his statistics so far have been ridiculous. You look at the whip and the hard hit rate at the bottom. Now, those are good compared to 2017 through 2024, but the ERA and batting average against are absolutely absurd. The ERA right there at 1.5, about nearly 3 runs lower than usual, and the batting average against obviously very good too. But how is he doing it? Look at the heat map of where he's locating his pitches. It's all about location. He's living on the edges. You see those spots up above the strike zone at the top that are more in red. Those are probably his four-seam fastball that he is having a ton of success with this year, and you expect that he is going to be that same guy tonight against the Rockies.
All right, now the team he gets tonight, you mentioned the Rockies. I said earlier they've struggled. I was just watching Rangers game day. I loved it. You and Eric Nadel were talking about some bad teams. This team really is off to a horrific start.
They've been historically bad, and if you take a look at what they've done through the first 40 games of this season, it has been pretty bad. 7-33, that's their record. Second worst start in MLB history. You see, compared to the 1988 Orioles, that run differential, -128, second worst in Major League history through 40 games. Athletics were the worst a few years ago. And there you see, as mentioned, Bud Black fired yesterday. Warren Schaefer steps in as interim manager.
Okay, so we'll see what these Rockies look like tonight. Meanwhile, the Rangers, or should we call them the slugging Rangers? They found those home run bats on the road trip. We'll see if they can keep that going. More on these big bats with Laura Stickles when we come back.
What's better than a
Rangers baseball on RSN is presented by Progressive Insurance. Step up to the plate for savings. Visit progressive.com. And by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts, the official casino and resort of the Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers are coming into this one riding some positive momentum. They've won 4 of their last 7 games, and they just won their first series since the middle of April against the Detroit Tigers, and they also split that road trip 3-3. But what's most encouraging for the Rangers is the fact that their long ball came back. When we spoke with manager Bruce Bochy today, he said that was a key piece of our identity coming into this season. So for these guys to know that they still have it has to bring some confidence as we take a look at our StatCast 3D presented by Google Cloud and the 8 home runs that this team has hit over the last 2 days. On Saturday, the team hit a season-high 5 homers and 3 more in yesterday's win against the Tigers. It was just the second time that the Rangers had hit 8 or more homers in a 2-game span since 2020. But Bochy said it's not just about the long ball. The home runs are nice, but I like the at-bats. On Saturday in Detroit, he said Wyatt Langford's 3 runs without a hit was a great place to start, as well as Adolis Garcia didn't record a hit, but he still knocked in 2 runs. So he feels like this team is in a really good place just all around with where their offense is at.
Yeah, absolutely clicking on all cylinders. The power's coming back. The at-bats and just the quality of them have been there. So back home now. Let's continue that offensive momentum.
Well, that's the plan, and who knows, maybe even having the roof open tonight will contribute to a little bit of that, because historically it has played a little more hitter-friendly with the roof open. Tyler Mahle, his job will be to stop the Rockies from taking advantage of that.
We showed you that ERA in the open. 42 2/3 innings, 15 walks, 32 punch-outs, batting average against under 200. There's the arsenal for him. Fastball split, cutter, slider, fastball and split at 52% and 28% respectively. His 2 biggest weapons.
All right, we'll take a look at the Rockies lineup. 7 wins and 33 losses. They are 19.5 out in the West. Brenton Doyle in center field leads it off. Jordan Beck in left, and then Ryan McMahon, their third baseman, bats third. Goodman, a good hitting catcher, is a cleanup man. Tolia and Moniak to follow. And then it's Martini, Amador, and Alan Trejo, the shortstop, batting ninth. Oh, what a night. 83 degrees here tonight, and what we would call a high sky. Not a cloud up there. So a gorgeous evening for baseball. Rangers feeling good after a strong finish to that road trip. And Murph, when you win a series like that, it's been almost a month. Rangers had dropped 6 straight series. What does that do for a team coming home?
I think especially when it's the quality of competition you're talking about in the Tigers and the year that they've had. I think it does a lot for your momentum. It kind of reminds you who you are. The Rangers had every bit of confidence coming into this season. They lost, and were inconsistent a little bit. It kind of resets what you thought of yourselves at the beginning and sets you on the right track moving forward.
All right, now hoping for a couple of good games here against Colorado. We're ready to go. Mahle up on top of that hill, and he'll fire it plateward. That one just off the outside corner, very close. Brenton Doyle, a right-handed hitter, 221 average, 4 home runs. And he has struck out quite a bit this year. And Mahle shooting for that same corner, just misses. 2-0. Right-handers have been pretty tough on Doyle. He'll bounce it weakly toward third, but foul. He hits almost 200 points better against lefties than he does righties. I suppose that's not a huge surprise. A lot of young players in this Rockies roster, and some of them still kind of learning their way through some of these things. Doyle's 27 years old. And he'll hit that one straight up in the air near shortstop. Routine play for Duran, 1 away. So good first out from Mahle.
And you don't want to pick on these guys too early, because you know the Rockies aren't having a great season, but they got into a 2-0 count rolled over a foul ball. That wasn't a great 2-0 swing, and then same thing. 2-1 count. You still have count leverage. You get under the baseball, a weak pop up. Not exactly what you're trying to do 2-0 and 2-1.
Jordan Beck, the batter, and he'll take low. Slider missing down there. 273 average for Beck. He's just 24 years old, a first-round pick out of Tennessee back in 2022. Not that long ago. And he'll watch a strike. It's a guy they like in Colorado. They have high hopes for him. Last year played in just 55 games, and he struggled to 188 average and struck out a ton. And this is high in the air, out to right. That one heading foul. 1-2 the count. There's a really good hitter in the minor leagues, has a little speed. Last year when he got his chance, he broke his hand. And that missed right in the neighborhood of 60 games last season. So when you look at the numbers from last year, I suppose you should temper the reaction a little bit knowing that. And he'll bounce this one foul.
It's a good cutter from Malley. A little bit of depth on it. Some good horizontal action.
What a year it has been for Malley. Currently one of the elite in the American League, and that's fouled away. So Beck doing a nice job of making Malley throw some more pitches, but an ERA of 1.48, second best in the American League. A 179 batting average against, that's the second lowest in the American League. Beck pops this one up near first base, and that's an easy play for Berger. 2 pop-ups.
Check out the defense for the Rangers. It'll be Wyatt Langford, Evan Carter, and Adolis Garcia in the outfield. Young and Duran on the left side of the infield, Simeon and Berger on the right side, and Tucker Barnhart, the Gold Glover, behind the plate.
Good to have Berger back in the lineup today. Boy, he was swinging it well on that rehab, or rather minor league stint. He was optioned out. This one is lifted into short left field. Playable ball for Langford. And he makes the catch, and that's an 11-pitch first inning for Tyler Malley, who continues his dominance in this first half. Now these Rangers bats, and Evan Carter leading it off when we come back. A perfect first inning for Malley to get us going here tonight. And now here come the Rangers. 20 wins, 21 losses. And they're 3 back of Seattle currently in the American League West. The lineup today for Bruce Bochy. Evan Carter leading it off in center field. Wyatt Langford at left. Jock Peterson will DH and bat third. It's Garcia, Simeon, and Young in the middle of things. Berger at first. Tucker Barnhart catches. Ezekiel Duran at shortstop will bat ninth.
And the Rangers will go up against Chase Dolander, young arm for the Rockies. High draft pick a few years ago, 28 innings. And these are rookie numbers for you. 7.71 ERA and maybe rookie Colorado Rocky numbers. Batting average against is 292. That fastball at 51%. He's got good velocity. Curveball, cutter, changeup to go with it. This guy is, you know, hopeful for the Rockies that he can be a mainstay in this organization for years to come. But just 28 innings into his major league career, he's gotten a rough start so far.
All right, Dolander's first offering up and out to Carter. 273 average, a home run and 2 RBIs. Rejoined the team on that last road trip, his first home game of the year. And he watches a fastball just a little bit low. So it was great to see Evan back. He played well on that road trip. And the heart rate might be up a little bit back home for the first time. That's outside, 3-0. So Dolander with a big breath and exhale there. Does not want to walk Carter. And he grooves one there at 96 miles per hour. .6'2", 200 pounds. He's just 25 years old. First round pick. 9th overall in that 2023 draft. And that's outside. Carter walks. So that's how we start the bottom of the first inning. Let's look at our Ford leaderboard as Langford comes to the plate. Some pretty good velocity right there from Dolander.
Highest average four-seam velocity, Chase Dolander at 97.6. Some big names on there. Green, Skeens, last year's Cy Young Award winner in the American League, Tarek Skubal, who the Rangers just saw on Friday night. Skubal stuff was nasty, and not only was he was throwing 100, but it had some cutting action on it too. I mean, just filthy.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive on Friday night. 1 strike pitch, and that's fouled off. Curveball that time from Dolander. The next day, we're talking to Boch before the game. He did his little media session, and then it was just kind of the bull session down there. And I asked him, you know, how's that stuff kind of stand up to other performances you've seen? A little high, 1 and 2. And he kind of shook his head, and he's like, I know he throws hard. He's like, but it looked like he was throwing 120. I think we all know he wasn't throwing 120, but man, it did kind of look like it at times. Quick check over there at first on Carter, who does have a stolen base. I saw Corey Ragsdale giving him a little something there. There he goes, and that's fouled off. I was just about to say, this seems like a good time. You know, Dolander, you worry about the numbers, right? What's his time to the plate, all that sort of stuff. But the other thing is the sunlight right now for the guy at first. That's no fun.
And Dolander's a young pitcher too. It takes a little while at the major league level, you would assume, for most pitchers, just to be able to control the running game. And you see that big ERA up there. He wants to concentrate on the hitter. So, you know, as a runner, you take your chances when you can.
2-2 here to Langford. That's definitely another part of the game that Carter brings as a leadoff man. You know, his ability to work the count, get on base, that's huge. But then there's speed out there, and there he goes, and a swing and a miss. The throw down to second is not in time. Carter with his second stolen base of the year. Well, they'll check upstairs on the Colorado side to see if that's worth challenging, and they will not.
From here, it looked pretty obvious. He got a great jump, and he got that hand in there ahead of time. That's a fastball at the top of the zone. Good pitch to throw on, and it's a good throw, too, right on the money. But Evan showing off the speed, as we've seen so many times, and just gets that hand in there before the tag.
So Jock Peterson now with a man in scoring position after the Langford strikeout. Jock has the average at 130. pretty good road trip. He's been hitting the ball hard lately. And that was just apparently a bit high. And he did not go around. You saw the appeal down to third base, and Todd Tishner, he's our crew chief. And this one the other way to left. Beck going back. He'll reach up and make the catch. Carter tags. He'll move to third, but there are two out.
Just another example of Peterson having better at bats, that just slightly over 100 miles an hour off the bat, so that's good exit velocity. And I think it's a combination in baseball these days. All these teams do their homework, have such good scouting reports. It just seems like Jock is hitting them where they are.
That has kind of been the story of the first 2 months for him, no doubt. Now here's Garcia. And Dolis, I felt like, had a really nice road trip. 225 average for the year, 5 homers, 22 RBIs. All kinds of really good at bats though. And he hits that on the ground, foul. 0-2. Oh, almost a good play down there. Good hustle. And she gets a nice round of applause. Fans appreciating the effort. All right, Dollander ready again. Here it comes. And a swing and a miss. He got Garcia to chase strike 3, and the inning is done. Rangers leave a man at third. We've played one scoreless inning. To the second we go, and we come back. Laura Stickles with some updates on this roster.
Globe Life Field. We are still scoreless here at the top of the second inning. The Rangers recalled Jake Berger today from AAA Round Rock, and Bruce Bochy said when we made that move, we knew he'd be right back up here, and that is exactly what this is. Berger told me today there were a couple of things with his swing that he needed to get right. Specifically, he said he was over-rotating a bit too much with his hips. His shoulders were too closed, but beyond that, Justin Veely, the hitting coach, told me that's just what happens when a guy is trying to make his swing too big, but they feel like his confidence is in a good place right now.
A base hit here by Hunter Goodman to start things in the second inning for Colorado. That ball was smoked.
Hit really hard. 89 right down the middle. And Goodman is off to a great start so far this season. He's kind of come out of nowhere, hitting nearly 300 with power.
So he's aboard for first baseman Michael Toglia. And Malley delivers low, ball one. Toglia having a tough year, 204 average to start the season, not getting on base, and he leads the world with 55 strikeouts. been a huge problem for this Rockies team in general. Chasing a lot, not a lot of discipline up there. And part of the reason why they are 7-33. A remarkably rough start. 2-1.
Could throw in there the fact that he's probably on some most wanted lists when it comes to Rangers fans, because he was the guy that hit a 106-mile-an-hour line drive that broke the hand of John Gray.
Hits this one out to right center field. Carter on the run, and he gets to it easily. One away. Boy, you do hold a grudge. You know, I'd forgotten that it was Tolia. I like that. That's it. That's the true player in you.
That's right. You don't lose that competitive nature. Look at that. Baseball is kind of shooting toward right field. You think for the most part, when a hitter stays inside of a baseball, it's going to have backspin and it's going to stay true to that gap, or even maybe come back toward Carter. It seemed like it was fading toward Garcia. Good closing speed from Evan.
Now Mickey Moniak fouls off strike one. Moniak was in camp during spring training with the Angels, and they let him go right at the end of camp. The Rockies swooped him right up. I think for Colorado, that's probably a pretty good little find. That's a strike. 0-2. But it has not been a good year for him either. And it's one of those where it seems like just the general wave of negativity has probably pulled a lot of guys down. 0-2. Yeah, that's tap foul. They put 3 left-handers and 2 switch hitters in the lineup tonight. Here's the 0-2. Ooh, that's up. Boy, Malley right there at the bottom of the zone with that splitter. All Moniak could do to just get a piece of it and stay alive.
You talk about the ability as a pitcher just to work north and south and, you know, east and west, and just the four-seamer and split combination. We showed you in the beginning with his arsenal. Those 2 pitches make up the majority of what he throws.
Barnhart wanted time, and instead he delivers strike 3. Well, that's a heck of a trick.
Good plan. Is that a sign given on the pitch comm? Time. I mean, it looked like Moniak was ready. I don't know if there was something in the back of his mind that he was thinking that time might be called, but this is pretty much right down Broadway.
So 2 gone. That's the first strikeout of the night. And there's one pinned right on the outside corner for a strike to Martini. Nick Martini, designated hitter. He's been around a little bit. 1 strike pitch on the way. Oh, we have a balk there. It looked like maybe Malley caught a spike or something.
Banana peel.
The tailpipe. So Goodman goes to second on the balk. Oh, slip.
Yeah, it looked like his toe slipped back behind the rubber.
Oh yeah. It's a little unsettling. So now the 1 strike pitch, and that is outside. 1-1.
I guess that's an extreme example. I wonder how much that happens even in the least, where it maybe affects mechanics and location.
Like just a slight movement that.
Yeah. That you don't see. Like that's an obvious one.
Strike 2 on Martini.
It's just nasty. Right off that outside corner.
He just lives right on the periphery all night long. 1-2. Yeah, It's fouled back. And then the weird thing is when he is in the zone, I think that fastball, that's interesting. That swing a little late, right? It's like 93 got on him. I mean, like he's throwing 120. It's just sneaky. One ball, two strikes. And that's down the left side foul.
Yeah, I was talking to Jeff Houston and Ryan Spilborgs about that, some of our counterparts on the Rockies broadcast side, and they were asking about Mahle, and I said the incredible thing is he throws 93 miles an hour, which would seem to be good hitting speed, but you see foul ball, foul ball, foul ball, swing and miss, pop up. Like, guys have such a hard time getting the barrel to that fastball.
It's very high. 2-2. Do you think of a guy you played against who was sneaky like that, maybe didn't have a big fastball, but it got on you in a hurry?
Well, I'm not sure if one comes to, the one that comes to mind, he did have a good fastball, was Jonathan Papelbon. I played with him and against him, and it was 96. It looked like it was 105 to me. There's another example. And that was right down the middle at 94 in the big leagues. So all these hitters are paid to hit a fastball like that, and for whatever reason, Mahle lives there in the middle of the zone and doesn't really get squared up.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes. That was the 10th pitch fouled off by a Rockies batter today. And that's number 11. And it stays 2-2.
What was it, a few weeks ago we were doing that A's series, and I want to say that the A's probably had like 20 foul balls in the first inning alone.
Yeah. That's annoying when it happens to your guy. It's making for a lengthy at bat. This will be the 9th pitch here to Nick Martini. And that's up.
I got one for you, and he had decent velocity too, but Ernesto Frieri, you remember him? He closed a little bit for the Angels. That's when I faced him the most, and I just couldn't hit that fastball to save my life.
Foul ball right side, that gets through. Goodman around third, he heads to the plate. The throw will come through, but it's late. So Martini with an RBI single, and that run scores because of the balk and that little slip earlier in the inning.
Well, you got to give Martini some credit for this at bat. Foul off the fastball multiple times, and he saw so many pitches throughout this at bat that Mahle eventually goes to the splitter, and Martini proves that that was the wrong pitch. At some point you were thinking maybe you'll beat him with the fastball, but Mahle just didn't want to challenge him after all those foul balls. He was thinking maybe he was making the adjustment.
Amador lifts one into short center and way out there for Duran. He'll make the catch. That's a nice play. And the inning is over. Rockies, though, get that first run of the ninth. To the bottom of the second tonight, 1-0.
Just underway here in this series of the Rockies and the Rangers here at Globe Life Field. We continue through Wednesday. These two teams do. That is through May 14th. Plenty of tickets available. Get yours now. Scan the QR code for tickets or go to Rangers.com.
All right, Marcus Semien takes a fastball for strike one. Marcus batting fifth today, so leading off this second inning. 179 average. Yeah, that one crowds him a little bit. Hit a home run yesterday. 2-run shot. It was his third of the year. And Dolander's off the outside there, 2-1. It had been a long dry spell in that regard for Marcus. His previous home run had come on April 22nd, so he was due. And he takes a strike. That's 2-2.
Pretty nasty. Dolander's got some crossfire to his delivery too.
Pitch on the way, and that's pulled foul. Boy, that ball girl, she's getting
To say the same thing.
a lot of steps in today.
Making her work.
Two balls, two strikes. And they want it up, and they get it up. Semien strikes out, and that is Dolander's third strikeout tonight. Let's slide over a moment here for Academy Sports and Outdoors. Josh Young. Average at 265. 4 homers, 12 RBIs. Boy, did he have a moment yesterday playing against his brother on Mother's Day with his mom Mary in the stands, and he homered. That's pretty cool. And he shoots it foul, 1-1.
That's a pretty special moment. I think it's really neat, whether it's the pink bats or, ever since Mother's Day has become more of a thing in Major League Baseball. You always want to perform Mother's Day, Father's Day, all those special occasions. But what a cool moment for their family. Two guys playing against each other. Awesome opportunity. Baseball just brings families together.
Boy, to pull up with a big moment though on that day in front of mom, that is pretty cool. Dolander's 1-2 pitch, and he buries it. Curveball way off the plate. Right. Young, one of those bats the Rangers will need to get going. He was 2 for 4 yesterday. He had a couple of home runs and a double on that road trip, so maybe signs that he's going to heat up as well. And Dolander delivers, and that's a swing and a miss. Got him on the curveball. 4 strikeouts for Dolander.
It's a pretty good curveball, and this is the first strikeout that has not been on an elevated fastball, but this has good life to it. Breaks all across the zone, kind of looks like a slurve, and that's in a good spot too. This is why big league baseball is so tricky. You look at the numbers, you see this guy coming in with an ERA just under 8, but he throws 97 miles an hour. He's got some nasty stuff to go with it.
1 strike pitch to Berger, and he fouls that one away. 0-2. So good to have Jake Berger back. Yesterday he was 2 for 3 with a home run and a double with Round Rock. They were in El Paso, and he did a nice job while with the Express. In 6 games he hit .391 with a couple of home runs and a double. But he strikes out swinging here. Boy, Dolander 4 straight strikeouts. So the young righty powered up a little bit here. We head to the 3rd inning. Rockies with the 1-0 lead. hiding back there, but there you go. Dollander, the top prospect in the Rockies organization, and you get a sense why. The first pick of that 2023 draft, and I think with rookies, you know, they can have good days and bad days. It looks like the Rangers may have caught Dollander on a good day.
And judging by his numbers, this could very well be so far the best day of his major league career, and just the start that he's gotten off to, getting some swings and misses. He has 4 chased pitches, and 3 of them are on the fastball at the top of the zone for strikeouts.
I think he's 23 years old, boy, and he's got a big arm. He's showing that off a little bit here.
Yeah, I think it's impressive when you throw as hard as he does and have the stuff that he does. You can live in the strike zone until you get to 2 strikes, and then you can elevate or go wherever you want to go. But he has got a bag of tools to work with for sure.
1 strike pitch here to Trejo, and he'll bounce it to shortstop. Duran has a nice arm, throws him out, 1 away. So the lineup turns over for the Rockies. Here is Brenton Doyle. Rockies did win yesterday, and it was one of their better played ball games. They beat the Padres 9-3, so they put together a good attack offensively, and even most of those runs came late for the Padres. Pitch to Doyle, and he'll tap one weakly to third base. A high hop for Young, and so to first, not in time. Boy, Doyle really getting down that line quickly, and that ball just not hit very hard. It's an infield hit.
You get the speed that Doyle does. Just put the ball in play and use your legs. Young does everything that he can, kind of throws across his body, not able to get maximum velocity on this throw. You see Doyle running there out of the box, and he got down to first base quickly.
So now Jordan Beck, who popped out earlier. One out, Doyle at first. They call him Mike Honcho. Back, and he takes outside. 2-0. Always with the nicknames. We had somebody the other day, his nickname was Hands and Feet. Because his name was like Hansley or something like that.
Okay.
And so they gave him the nickname. Oh, Hannafy was his name. Hannafy. But his nickname then was Hands and Feet.
Hands and Feet.
It's the thing about nicknames, though, right? You don't always really enunciate them clearly, like, oh, here's old Hands and Feet. Oh, it's Hands and Feet. And there's ball 4, and Mike Honcho heads down to first. 2 men aboard. Bring up Ryan McMahon.
I think Ricky Bobby would have preferred to see him shake and bake.
Okay. Anywho. Here is McMahon. Malley over 40 pitches now, and working with a little bit of traffic. He could use a ground ball in a big way. There's strike 1 to McMahon. That one looked pretty good, but did not get the call from our umpire, James Jean.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not a bad spot.
No, and he needs those pitches, right? I mean, that's where he tends to do his best work, is right at the top of the zone. There's not a ton known about our umpire, James Jean. He was a rookie call-up umpire last year, and I believe has only had 6 games in his big league career behind the plate. This is number 7. Bouncer at third base. Young will go to second for the 1 out. On to first. In time, double play. Boy, oh boy, he needed a big double play, and Malley got it.
Off balance all the way around. Great job by Josh Young, picking it on the short hop, getting it over to Simeon, strong arming it over to first, and Berger completes it.
Oh, what a night to come on into the ballpark with our Defy wire cam. Nice little crowd on a Monday night. There it is. Gliding through the sky, giving us some different looks this year on RSN. One of a number of little gadgets that we've rolled out this year. It's been fun. We're a quarter of the way into the season. And so many unique views and whatnot that we've been able to enjoy. Here's Tucker Barnhart, and he'll go after the first pitch and lofts that to center field. Doyle waiting there, and he makes the catch. And we'll bring up Ezekiel Durant. At least that put an end to the stretch of strikeouts.
When a pitcher gets hot like that, he's showing off his stuff. You definitely want to try to get him early. But even at 97, that pitch looked like it was right down the middle. Got to be on time. It was a pretty good swing, just slightly under it.
So Duran now. Zeke batting ninth. And there's a strike on the outside corner. Duran was 2 for 4 yesterday in Detroit. Had 3 hits on the road trip. It takes away 2 and 1. And he's getting time at shortstop these days. Today, a really unique spot for the Rangers to have both Seager and Smith down. Seager's having a little trouble with that hamstring. Smitty experiencing some back troubles right now. And here's a fly ball out to right field. Carries okay, but Moniak has room. 2 away. Carter coming up. Our Chevy under the hood. You'll remember he was the minor league player of the year for the Rangers in 2022. And then came up in 2023, the little savior. 4th youngest player in baseball history to get his first career postseason home run at just 21 years old. And he takes low here.
And from that point until now, just showing off the versatility. Made his debut, and how about that? Look at the names on that list. Youngest to hit their first postseason home run. But he comes up, he's hitting in the 9-hole. In no time, he's hitting in the 3-hole. He's leading off tonight, but he has like that Swiss Army knife type of persona as a player, right? Like he's got the speed and he's got the eye where he can hit lead off if he needs to. He's got the hitting ability and he's got enough power to where he can hit in the 3-hole.
Flare down the left side, gets foul. Just foul.
But he's the type of guy that if he gets hot, and he is the type of player that he can be throughout the course of a major league season, you know, it would be no stretch for him to score 100 and drive in 100. You know, that may be a stretch at this point. We'll start with what, 80 and 80.
Yeah, I'll take it.
But definitely capable of hitting for average. We've seen the power in recent days, and it's just great to see him contributing and back up here.
There's a 2-1, and that's a strike. Yeah, first and foremost, you want him healthy, right? He's got the back issue that he has under control. He's made some adjustments to his stance to help that. Open stance and opens up that front foot just a little bit toward the pitcher. 2-2, and that's up and out. He used to have that front right foot. He would turn the toe in, really closing off that hip. He had an open stance, but would turn that in, and was creating some torque and some issues with his back. Now opens it just a touch toward the pitcher, and it's made him a lot more comfortable. And he hits this one high in the air out to center. Doyle, a Gold Glover, runs it down, and the inning is done. Boy, another perfect inning. That's 9 straight. Turned back now by Dolander, and it's 1-0 Rockies.
Rockies up early in this one by a score of 1-0. Well, come out to the ballpark on Tuesday, May 22nd and get your Bruce Bochy World Series Parade bobblehead presented by Medical City Healthcare. Rangers play the Blue Jays that day. It'll go to the first 15,000 fans. You can get your tickets at Rangers.com. Pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. Bouch looks a little perturbed at the moment. Not in the best of moods. And this, you know, this in football, what do we call it in football? A trap game, right? Where teams might take a team for granted, looking ahead to the next week or whatever. This series seems like a trap series, because if there's one team that a club might overlook, it would be the Rockies. The way they have struggled. Yeah, and there's that note about last season. That was brutal when we went to Colorado last year, and the Rangers were swept by the Rockies. They were not a great team last year. Lost 101 games last season, but they swept the Rangers right out of the old ballpark. And I don't know, the Rangers scored like 4 runs or something in that 3-game stay. Brutal. Malley ahead here 1-2 on Goodman. He's a good hitting catcher, but he strikes out swinging. And that's a second strikeout for Malley tonight.
Good splitter. You know, once you see Malley's fastball command start to improve, I feel like that just makes the splitter better. And I feel like I'll never forget the quote from Kirby Yates last year. When he comes to the Rangers, we didn't know exactly what to expect, if he was going to be healthy, if he was healthy, if he was going to perform.
Tolio with a lazy fly ball to center, 2 away.
But it was interesting because his split finger was performing extremely well. And when he was asked why his split was performing well, he said, well, I think it's all because of my fastball command, and I'm putting it in a place where it just makes my split finger better, because all of the hitters that I'm facing, they're having to respect 2 pitches rather than just 1. If you're around the zone with your fastball and not hitting your spots, then usually that split finger is going to be easier to hit.
Let's check in with Laura.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting hearing you say that, because last week in Boston, Malley said that it was actually the opposite for him. The reason why he was struggling was because he didn't have his splitter that game. So they, like you said, they weren't respecting both pitches. So it's interesting that it goes both ways there.
I think it does. When you locate one, it makes the other one better. Yeah, it works vice versa as well. And that's kind of an easy mindset, just because it's an old school mindset that you establish your fastball, you work off of that. But you know, we showed in the beginning and kind of mentioned it once already that, you know, he is mainly a fastball split guy. Those are his 2 main pitches. So it's kind of a 1A and 1B.
This ball lifted to straightaway right field, carrying a little bit there for Garcia, but he makes the catch. Boy, that was just an 8-pitch inning right there for Malley. Very efficient as we move it along to the last of the 4th inning. Rangers trailing 1-0. You might be asking yourself, who the heck is Kurt? Kurt Dykert, our producer tonight. First game back in the big chair. Of course, Kurt produced games for the Rangers for, I don't know. How many years, Kurt? 24 years. So long time television producer with the Rangers. Great to have Kurt back tonight. Boy, the fans, I mean, word gets out quickly. That one's off the plate. Ball 2 to Wyatt Langford. Langford, Peterson, Garcia. Now, second time through the lineup here. Let's see if the Rangers can make some adjustments on Dolander. Oh, that's a pretty good fastball right there. 2-1. Big, strong right-hander, and that one looked like it was off the plate. And the one thing that we do know about this umpire is that he has a wider strike zone. It doesn't extend so much up and down, but left to right a little bit. Bouncer shortstop, and Langford is turned back, one away here in the 4th inning.
Yeah, it's frustrating when it's a decisive count, when it's a 2-1 count and it goes against you, and it's 2-2 instead of 3-1 when it looks like the pitch is off the plate. Put Langford in a tough spot where he had to swing at more of a pitcher's pitch.
Here's Jock Peterson, and he'll scooch out of the way. Ball 1. Jock fought to left field in the 1st inning. That Langford ground out there just a moment ago. That's the first ground ball out today for Dolander. 1-1 now. Maybe more to the point, Dolander, after walking Carter to start the game, has retired 10 straight. That's the bigger issue here. And Peterson hits out in the air to left field, but Beck gets back to his spot. 2 gone.
Pitch up and away. Not exactly in Jock's wheelhouse. Gets the arms extended, but just has enough reach to where he not quite the power supplied to that baseball that we're looking for.
Adolis Garcia now, there's one of those wide strikes.
And there was one on Berger too on the inside part of the plate. I believe it was his first pitch. So obviously you're helping out a rookie pitcher, and he's a guy that's got really good stuff.
Out to right field. Moniak heading toward the corner, and he'll reach up and make the catch. And that's just a 10-pitch inning for Dolander. Oh boy. Go to the 5th here tonight. Pitching dominating, 1-0. Baseball on RSN is brought to you by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts, the official casino and resort of the Texas Rangers. And by your North Texas Chevy dealers. Chevy drives Texas. Well, the 5th inning has arrived already. 1-0 the score. Starter's doing a pretty nice job so far tonight. Malley will go to work against the bottom 3rd of the order for the Rockies, and he gets Martini to foul that one away. Martini, Amador, and Trejo for Colorado. 7 wins, 33 losses. What's today? May 12th. And the Rockies are 19.5 back of the Dodgers in the National League West. Now, the National League West is stacked. I mean, Padres are incredible. The Dodgers, the Giants have played well. Even the Diamondbacks. There's a bouncer up the middle. And Duran throws out Martini, who is hustling down the line, one away. So it'll bring up Amador now, but not before we hear from Jack in the Box.
My Nashville hot popcorn chicken. So much deliciousness starting at $6.99.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Now Amador can come to bat. 0 for 1. He popped out in the second. Now this guy, a couple years ago, Amador was the top prospect in the Rockies organization, but he's slipped a little bit in recent years. He's had some trouble defensively, and that's one thing if you're just crushing the ball. But to be clear, that's not happening this year. 173 average for Amador, not getting on base very often either, striking out a decent amount. 2-0 from Malley, and that is in there. So a horrific start for the Rockies, and immediately parallels are drawn to last year's White Sox debacle. That's outside. 3-1. The White Sox setting the modern day record for futility last season with 121 losses. This Rockies team is well ahead of that pace. Now it's still pretty early in the season. When you go back to the 62 Mets, that team with 120 losses. Last year the White Sox bested them. And you look at their starts at 12 and 28. How about this Rockies team at 7 and 33, and they're pacing for 134 losses? Oh boy. I'll start to dust off a lot of stories about the old 1899 Cleveland Spiders and that kind of nonsense.
You kind of dig into the numbers too. I mean, whether it's offensively or defensively. For instance, their pitching staff, 5.77 ERA, last in baseball. They're last in runs given up, WHIP, opponent average, opponent OPS, strikeouts, hits. It just kind of goes on. And offensively, it's a similar story. The way that they chase, the way that they swing and miss. And speaking of swing and miss, here's one at the top of the zone at 93. Good job by Malley falling behind and battling back to get Amador.
Third strikeout of the night for him, and here's Alan Trejo, and he'll take downstairs.
And then
Trejo grounded out.
And then you look at the defensive numbers. You're like, all right, they've got to be okay defensively. It's probably just, you know, all this stuff. Last in fielding percentage.
Yeah, the problems are many for this Rockies team, and to that end, they, made the big changes yesterday. Look at it, Warren Schaefer managing his first big league game. He was the third base coach as they fired longtime manager Bud Black and his bench coach Mike Redmond yesterday. That's low. 2-1. Clint Hurdle.
There he is.
He was just recently added as the hitting coach. Now moved up to bench coach.
I gave him a hard time before the game, talked to him for a minute. Interim bench coach. He was the hitting coach, and if you look on their website, he's still listed as an assistant to the GM. So he's filling a variety of roles, and he's only been here a few weeks.
2-2. And did he go? No. Full count.
Yeah, just held back enough.
So we'll require one more from Malley. Here it comes. And there's a ground ball left side of the infield. Long throw now for Duran, but it's a beauty. And it's in time to get Trejo and complete another 1-2-3 inning for Malley. So he settled in nicely. We are halfway there tonight with the Rockies leading 1-0.
Welcome back to Globe Life Field. Rangers trail by 1 here at the bottom of the 5th inning. The Rockies coming into this game with the worst record in baseball, but when we spoke with Bruce Bochy today, he said, I don't ever assume anything because that's when it beats you. He said there's definitely situations when players will go into a series against a struggling opponent with too much confidence. And he said even hearing things on the radio like, you should sweep this team, he said it's just not that easy in baseball, especially if a pitcher is on his game that day. It's kind of like running into a good goalie in hockey one day. He said, it's just, they can shut you out, and Dollander certainly is pitching a good game here tonight.
I think the good word when you're facing a team like this is tenacity. You want to come in with that same mindset where you've got that focus and that drive, and you want to put a stranglehold on that game as soon as possible, and that competitive nature.
Bounce out to third here by Semien is how we start the 5th inning.
Let's check out Josh Young with our All-State good hands play. This was a nice double play that Tyler Malley needed at the time, and a tough one at that. He had to charge it, field it on the short hop. The throw was off balance to second.
Hits this ball well out to center field, but Doyle to his right wheels it in. So 2 out now in the 5th inning for Jake Berger. Well, to Boch's point about a good pitcher sort of setting the tone and changing the way a game looks and feels, this is the first time this year that the Rockies have gone through 4 innings without allowing a hit, and it's 4 2/3 innings now without a hit as Dollander runs one in on Jake Berger. Heck, it's just the 3rd time in the last 2 years that the Rockies have gone the first 4 innings without allowing a hit. It's way wide, 2-0 on Berger. Well, he's taking him way east and way west so far in this at bat.
Here comes the first hit.
Ball 3. Well, when I was a kid, parents used to yell at me all the time that a walk's as good as a hit, which was their way of saying to me, please don't swing. But I've always maintained that a walk indeed is as good as a hit. And that was a walk, but a strike called there just to make it interesting, I guess.
That is not a strike. That's frustrating. 3-0. It's not automatic for sure. And I think if anything, the way that Dollander's been rolling, Rangers just need to get him in the stretch. Change up his looks.
Yeah. 3-1. And it's fouled away. So just like that, now a full count. Berger struck out in the second. Just activated before today's ball game. Called up from AAA Round Rock, where he was swinging it really well. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And he hits that ball hard out to center field. Doyle's a Gold Glover, and he lays out into a dive to take that one away. He's played 2 full seasons, has 2 Gold Gloves, and that's why right there. He's got one of the best going in the National League in center field, and he keeps the Rangers hitless through 5.
To the top of the 6th already. Colorado still leading 1-0. And Range Rover Sport Engineered to Win is going to show us manager wins Major League Baseball all time. There's Bruce Bochy at number 7, 2,191 wins and creeping fast.
Yeah, catch Sparky at some point on this homestand, more than likely. That is, of course, if the Rangers get those bats going again. Top of the order here for the Rockies, and Malley continues to pitch well. 1-1 on Brenton Doyle. Doyle had an infield hit in the 3rd inning. And a slow bounder to third base, and he takes low here, 2-1. Well, I'm wondering along those lines, Murph, you've got one of the greatest managers who's ever handled that job on the Rangers side. 4 World Series titles. Bouncer left side of the infield. Young has it this time. Hustles the throw and a good dig. Berger able to complete his end of the bargain to get Doyle. Well, you could tell Young was not going to monkey around this time.
There was a slight hesitation on his part. I think it was more so to play the hop. He wanted to go get it, but made sure that he wasn't going to get that in between hop. He wanted to get the short one, but he ended up with the long one. Used the arm across, and that's a great job by his first baseman in helping him out.
So Beck now, and he takes ball 1. So anyway, you've got all the history of Boch on one side of the field. On the other side, you have Warren Schaefer, who's never managed a big league game before. And don't you know that somewhere, and he'll say, no, of course not. We got a lot we're worried about here. There's no way it hasn't crossed his mind that maybe he could get his first big league W as a manager against a memorable opponent.
Yep. It's like hitting your first big league homer against a future Hall of Famer. Lots of comparisons and similarities, but
well, we still have a ways to go yet. 6th inning here. Beck 0 for 1 with a walk today, and he strikes out swinging. 2 gone. That's 4 strikeouts for Malley.
He stays hot with the splitty. You know, it's tricky when you throw that pitch in. It's kind of like a changeup, split finger changeup. You expect to see it on the outside part of the plate. When it's on the inside, it just speeds you up. That front hip flies.
Now McMahon takes upstairs for ball 1. McMahon is 0 for 2. He's the one who hit into that big double play in the 3rd inning. One and 1 to count. McMahon with the average at .211. And that's up. He has some power, McMahon. He taps this one out in front of the plate. Malley picks it up, throws to first, and it's in time to get McMahon. Another perfect inning for Malley. He's retired 10 in a row now. So the bottom of the 6th beckons. Pitching well, playing good D, Murph.
Yep, pounces on it. Malley gets out there, throws a strike over to first base the way he's been thrown to home all night. Rangers come to bat here down 1-0, bottom of the 6th, and let's get to our Choctaw Casinos and Resorts game within the game. 4th game since 2022 to not have allowed a hit through the first 5 innings of a game, and the first time since June 23rd of 2024 versus the Nationals. Chase Dolander still has not allowed a hit. He just delivered his 64th pitch. He's been efficient. The fastball has been around 97. He's shown off a good curveball. 9th pick of the draft recently, and he is showing why Rockies made a good investment in him.
Stud pitcher in the SEC with Tennessee, and he's outside with that one. Tucker Barnhart leading things off here in the 6th. Tucker's been at it for a while, 11 big league seasons for him, and he watches up and out. 2-1. So the veteran catcher against the young flamethrower, and Dolander off the plate. Running scared.
Interesting pitch choice to the 8-hole hitter. Change up 2-1.
Well, he's got to give him something decent here. 3-1 on the way, and he does not. So he puts Barnhart on, just the 2nd base runner the Rangers have had tonight. Great at bat On a veteran backstop. That brings up Ezekiel Duran. Well, maybe that'll do something to get things started here.
It was not the most competitive at bat for Dolander. A lot of missed pitches. Looked like he was flying open a little bit. Those pitches missing up and away. And this is what we wanted to get him in the stretch.
Boy, misses badly with that one too. And now kind of looking around like, what the heck's going on out here? But maybe fatigue, right? I mean, this next pitch will be his 70th. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it is his 6th inning. And so he gets a visit. Darryl Scott, their pitching coach, heads out there.
It's either that or you're a rookie pitcher and you're going into the 6th knowing that you have not given up a hit. And it's a situation where, all right, you're starting to think about it a little bit. And then, you see that batting average, the times through the order. You want to get to that third time, 500 that third time through the order. He probably hasn't gotten there too frequently. There's the pitch count by inning. Pretty efficient all night. And he's gotten better as the game's gone on.
Well, the longest start in his career has gone 5 2/3 innings. It was against Atlanta earlier this year. Duran spoils that one. 1-1. This could be that inning where if they could just make him work a little bit at bat after at bat, perhaps he'd give in and make a mistake. There's a slow roller left side of the infield. They'll go the short way to second, and they get the out. Barnhart going in there hard. And Amador, I'm not sure where Amador's foot was on the bag, but he may have taken a spike to it. One away.
This was a little bit of a risky play by McMahon, but good job to get the lead runner. Short arming it to second. Let's see if that spike clips him. It looks like he gets him right in the toe.
So Carter, the batter now. And he started after that, and he went. That's strike one.
That's a pretty nasty pitch right there. It's listed as a curveball at 80 miles an hour. Almost had some sweeper action to it.
Well, tried to sneak it in the back door that time, but missed. 1-1. Rangers just need a good competitive at bat here. And that's popped up back behind the plate. We'll end up one of the spectators though for strike two. Carter has walked, and then he flied out to center field. The 1-2 pitch, and he swings and misses and was fooled by the curveball. That's a big strikeout for Dolander.
Most of the strikeouts have come on the fastball tonight. It's a really good pitch with a ton of break, lots of depth. We just saw one at 80. He pulls the strings on this one. This one's 78. Multiple shapes. Some of them kind of more sliderish, slurvish. That was a straight down, more of a 12-6 type of breaking ball.
Well, longest start of his career, and Dolander has not allowed a hit yet to these Rangers. Langford would like to put an end to that. And he smashes that ball deep out to right field. That's got a chance. Gone! Seventh of the year for Langford, and it could not have come at a bigger time. Rangers' first hit, and they have their first lead.
There was this feeling that this was going to happen at some point and some point soon. Dollander was starting to fall apart a little bit as far as his command. He had a good at bat to Carter, pretty good at bat to Duran, but he left one over the middle of the plate and Langford made him pay.
Now Peterson, and Jack has moved off the plate.
Look at that pitch right down the middle. I think he's been successful with Wyatt tonight when he's been getting in on him, not really letting Wyatt get extended. Well, Wyatt gets full extension there, and that's good power to the opposite field.
Inside 2-0 to Peterson.
You know, if it's a no-doubter to the opposite field, you know you're doing something right. Wyatt's got such good pop.
Oh, this one lifted into foul ground, and Langford stalking that dugout a little bit. And celebration in there looked like it got rough at one point. 7th home run of the year, and he has 16 RBIs now. 2-1, Rangers on top. Dollander's 2-1. A little bit low.
A good note that we just saw there too. Just a little bit of a power outage here at home. Rangers got the power bats going on the road trip in Boston and Detroit, and they have brought it back with them.
That's tight. Another walk, second walk of the inning. Peterson heads to first, and that'll get Garcia to the plate. No sign yet of Warren Schaefer. Well, he's up on the steps. Well, back down again. That Bird throwing out in that bullpen. But Goodman and Dollander apparently going to be allowed to go after Adolis Garcia. Let's see if that's a mistake here. Command hasn't been as sharp. Rangers have gotten to him a little bit. All it takes is just that one pitch where he doesn't quite execute. Here it comes. And that one was a beauty.
I was about to say too, if he can locate his fastball to Garcia, I think he'll be all right. But if he hangs any type of breaking ball in the middle of the strike zone, I feel like there's a chance for extra bases.
Fouled over to the right side.
That was the one.
So now Garcia has to protect here. Or at least that's the thought sometimes. He'll swing and miss at the fastball. And that strikeout ends the threat in the 6th.
How about another look at this one? That's a good view. Wyatt Langford going deep. Lost that one into the Rangers bullpen in right center field to take the lead. was a good time to check out our T-Mobile coverage cam. Tyler Mahle has been doing tonight what he has done all season long. He has been living in the strike zone. He's been using his defense, mixing in some strikeouts as well. That fastball and the split finger have been tremendous, and he's done it all night with no run support. Well, the Rangers got him 2 runs, and he's got a little bit of cushion to work with.
Yeah. Well, a lead anyway. And Robert Garcia has started to throw in the bullpen, so Mahle may be looking at some point this inning of giving it up to the pen. He misses with ball 1 to Hunter Goodman.
I feel like just a lead is cushion for him.
I mean, he hasn't enjoyed a lot of run support. The fact that they've given him 2 tonight, my goodness. Wanted 1 to count on Goodman. He has a base hit. He has scored the Rockies run. Opening game of this 3-game series, and here comes the 1-1. Pulled down the third baseline, and that's a base hit for Goodman. And that one a little bit tricky for Langford. Goodman ends up with a double.
I could see what Langford was thinking there. This looks like a little cutter down in the zone. Goodman shoots it down the third baseline. You see Wyatt going in there. He's wondering if it might bounce back to him. I think you get overzealous at times, thinking this guy is not going to get to second base. I'm going to field this properly. I'm going to get rid of it quickly, and I'm going to gun him down at second base. But this just was the type of play it was not going to happen on.
So Tolia, and he'll swing and miss at strike 1. Goodman in scoring position, representing the tying run. Rockies 1 for 2 tonight with runners in scoring position. And Mahle gets him to pound that one straight down to the dirt for a foul ball. Tolia has twice flied out to center field tonight. Mahle getting closer still to 90 pitches for the night, and he strikes out Tolia. Got him to chase the fastball up. 1 away. And that gets the skipper out there. Couple of lefties coming up for the Rockies. Bruce Bochy ready to employ that bullpen. Robert Garcia had been getting ready, and he is heading in.
Well, tomorrow, May 13th, theme night tickets, will get you a co-branded True Brand Texas Rangers 1972 throwback white cap. Rangers will play the Rockies again for Game 2 of this series, only when you buy your tickets at rangers.com/theme nights.
Great job by Malley tonight. He gives way to Robert Garcia and the bullpen the rest of the way. A 2-1 ball game.
There's Garcia's numbers for the year, although more importantly, you mentioned lefties coming up, although we have a righty in there, but he has been nasty against the lefties, 4 for 28 this season without an extra base hit, good for a .315 OPS against him.
Well, I got a question for you. Bouchard, the right-handed batter, he'll take up and out here, 1-1. So Mickey Moniak was due up, the left-hander, and that's why Boch makes the move. So the Rockies counter with Bouchard, and it makes sense in the most literal sense, right? You bring in a right-handed hitter against the left-handed pitcher. Fly ball down the right field line, and Garcia makes the catch in fair territory. Tagging at second, the runner Goodman, he moves up. But here's the thing, Bouchard, who just flew out, his numbers against lefties, he was hitting .190, and that's a good bit better than his .111 average against right-handed pitching. So, you know, that's where you'd want to use him, I guess, is against lefties. But the fact of the matter is that the man he just replaced, Moniak, he hits better than that against lefties. I don't know. I don't understand why managers are always married to making that move.
Yeah, I guess my answer would be just the fact that in a right versus left situation, there's more likelihood of a long ball. And so you're just playing for that one swing where the ball might go over the fence and you might get 2 runs out of it. Because obviously we're talking about batting average.
Right, and neither of them are good.
Right, neither of them are good, but probably most of that batting average is made up of singles. And I've seen so many scenarios just like you're talking about, and I'm a little bit confused why at times managers don't go with their gut over the numbers, but I guess they know their teams better than we do.
Yeah, so it's a little bit, though, like a lottery ticket kind of concept, right?
Yeah,
it's like, it's going to be hard to get a hit.
Yep, you're playing.
But if I'm going to get a hit, he's, you know, this guy's got a chance of hitting it over the fence. All right, I'll play along. 3-0 to Kyle Farmer, and he'll take one down the middle. Farmer, a right-handed batter, and yeah, his numbers against lefties a little bit better than they are against righties. He draws the walk here, so I guess it works out in that regard. They've got minute first and third now for Amador, and here comes Mike Maddox just to talk about what they want to do here with a switch hitter. And they are preparing for Chris Martin to come in the game when needed. And it could be they're buying a little time there for Martin because a couple of 3 right-handers due up next. So this could be the last man for Garcia here. And while they, sorry, I was going to bring up a point there, but I can tell Mike Maddox, he's saying right there, he's like, it's time for a message from Rally House.
Play ball, Texas. Shop the latest in Rangers style with your favorite brands and throwback designs. Rally House has gear for every fan.
It's partly how you become one of the great pitching coaches in the game, is you can manage your bullpen and help you guys out, and also assist the broadcast. That's nice of Mad Dog there. Amador at the right side, and he takes strike one. There's that wide zone benefiting Garcia this time.
I feel like that's really the first one that the Rangers have gotten on their side tonight. And speaking of matchups, by the way, this is a favorable one for the Rangers. Amador just hitting .182 against left-handed pitching this season. Yes, that one too.
Yeah, that was another inch further off the plate, and Amador was comfortable letting that go. Garcia to the plate, and a good fastball there, 95 past Amador. He's a big, strong kid, Garcia, and he loves the high leverage spots.
It looks like he's just got a little bit of funk to that. You know, his mechanics also. Shows his back for a long time. That ball just shoots out of nowhere at 95.
Trying to wiggle off the hook here in the 7th. The 1-2. And that's way out there. He was reaching back for a little more there at 96. Last 13 games for Garcia, he's pitched to an 0.84 ERA, 1 earned run in almost 11 innings. And that's in. Good smother back there by the Gold Glover. Full count.
That slider spin on the baseball. Barnhart does a really good job of just staying calm, getting that glove down.
So Farmer's running from first. The 3-2, a swing and a miss. He got him, and Garcia's pumped up. That's a big strikeout tonight, keeping it a 2-1 ball game.
Nasty fastball right here. We talked about how he shows his back. This looked like it has some cutting action. Gets out of a big jam here in the 7th. Two-1 Rangers lead here. And Chase Dollander really did a nice job tonight. Fastball around 97. He had a nasty curveball to go with it. He had some crossfire. So you can see why the Rockies love him and think that he's going to be a fixture in their rotation for years to come.
It's one of the better starts they've gotten all year. Is now Kyle Bird takes over in the 7th inning. And this ball's ripped over third base, foul. Now the thing with the Rockies, we were talking earlier, the defense hasn't been great. Offense has flat out stunk. The starting pitching has been bad. Their bullpen has been good. And look at the numbers for Bird, a 1.85 ERA. They've got some good arms out there. And Semien pops this one up, foul ground near first, and the easy play made by Tolio, one away. So Dollander, 6 innings, allowed 1 hit. Boy, was it a big one. The 2-run homer by Langford, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts for him. Bird gets his first man in the 7th inning, and the first offering to Young in there for a strike. Josh 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Hits this one hard out into left field. That's a base hit. Just the second Rangers hit of the game.
I was about to say, you look up at that scoreboard, the box score, just the way that it looks funky with that 2 runs and just 1 hit. Now at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, just as long as we get a Rangers win here. So good at bat, fastball in off the plate at 94 miles an hour. Young gets those hands inside of it, just gets in on him enough.
The bearded bird, and that one is sent right back up the box. Berger with a base hit. And the Rangers with a couple of singles in this 7th inning.
Now, a lot of times you face a guy like this, he makes you stay on the baseball, and my goodness, did he ever. You talk about taking it back where it came from, and this coming in hot. Oh my goodness, misses Bird by a matter of inches.
So with 2 men on, Barnhart the batter. And he takes inside, ball 1. Young at second, Berger at first base. Infield at double play depth, and that one finds the corner. Rangers in a pretty good scrap right now with a Rockies team that's been down on their luck all year, and there is a strike. 1-2 on Barnhart. Tucker with a fly out and a walk. This one bounced back up over the mound, and that could be 2. A step on the bag by Trejo. The throw to first gets Barnhart. And the inning is done. So Bird gets himself into a little trouble and then right back out of it. 8th inning coming up. It's 2-1. Big bat of Wyatt Langford right now has the Rangers in front 2-1. We have made it to the 8th inning here, and so Rangers and Bruce Bochy's going to his high leverage arms. Here's Chris Martin.
Now, Martin has had a fantastic season for the Rangers so far. He's such a successful late inning reliever for the way that he keeps the ball in the ballpark and he does not allow free base runners. Just 3 walks in 17 2/3 innings and just 1 home run given up.
The native of Arlington went to Arlington High. Chris Martin pitching very much for his home team, and he'll get Alan Trejo start this 8th inning, and he fires one just a bit low. After Trejo, they'll go back to the top of the order. This one in the air, center field. That's not going to carry for Trejo. One away. Oh, keeping the ball in the yard. Now to the top of the order for Doyle. Doyle 1 for 3 tonight. Fourth-round pick out of Shepherd University in Virginia several years ago. I guess it would have been 2019. This is now the 3rd year in the big leagues for Doyle. First 2 years, been a Gold Glover in center field. He does strike out a lot. And he hits that up the middle, and it's caught by Martin. Are you kidding me? Wow.
I guess I stand corrected. He's such a late inning reliever because he keeps the ball in the ballpark. He doesn't allow free passes, and he plays good defense. He fields his position well. Good reaction by Martin, snagging that line drive.
Man. How many hours would it take for the heart to stop beating after that? Or at least to come back down to normal range? Here's Beck. And he'll take strike one.
Well, you think too, you know, we're here early and we watch all the early work that these guys go through, and they take a variety of ground balls. My goodness. And that's just not a play that you're ever going to work on. You cannot simulate that without the risk of getting somebody hurt anyway.
The reaction time there is infinitesimal. But it hit right into his glove. And that's an out. 2 away. Beck in a hole 0-2. Here it comes. And that looked pretty good. Yeah, strike 3 called. And Jordan Beck strikes out looking, and that's a really nifty 8th inning for Chris Martin. Good pitching all around tonight for the Rangers. They lead it 2-1.
We go to the bottom of the 8th, 2-1 Rangers, and we'll show you how we got there, at least with those 2 runs from the Rangers. And we'll see it from the view of our Yingling flight cam. Wyatt Langford gets into one. When you poke one to the opposite field like that, usually there's going to be a lot of oomph put into it, but his power is so easy. Talk about the strength all the time. We usually see it to the pull side, but he has got line-to-line power. Tyler Kinley checks into the game now. There's what he's done in 16 games so far. Inflated ERA in to try to keep the score right where it is.
Well, Duran, and then the top of the order coming after him in this 8th inning. Rangers were pretty quiet for most of the night. No hit through 5 innings. But then the Langford home run that you just showed us in the 6th inning got him on the board and in front. They added 2 more hits last inning off Kyle Bird. And so now Kinley. And he delivers. There's a swing and a miss. He strikes out Duran. Boy, he held for quite a little while there. Maybe froze Duran just a bit. Now here comes Evan Carter. Heard Bruce Bochy say today in his interview with Eric that, long term, this is probably where you would expect to see Evan Carter as a leadoff hitter. So ultimately, that's who he's going to be. And it is sort of the perfect spot for him. There are a lot of spots where he works in a lineup, but leadoff seems to be the best idea. Combination of patience and bat to ball ability.
Well, even you go back to his at bat that ended the bottom half of the 3rd inning, and it ended with a fly out to center, but both Barnhart and Duran were retired pretty quickly. Barnhart swung at the first pitch. I can't remember how many pitches Duran saw.
Ground ball down to first. Tolia will take it to the bag himself. 2 away.
But Carter saw 6 pitches in that at bat, and I think that's what I really love about him. It seems like he is frequently making pitchers go to full counts, and you're not going to get a hit out of that every single time. But with the way that Rangers swing early, lots of first pitches, I'm going to get these pitchers on the ropes a little bit.
Now here's Langford, tonight's hero, and he takes inside for a ball. And home run was his 7th of the year. And he hits this one sharply to short, and right there for it is Trejo. The inning is done. So 8 complete. Luke Jackson's been loosening in the bullpen. A 1-run game. The Rangers closer. One last sip. Coming in to do some work. Pitchers duel tonight. A total of 7 hits combined between these 2 teams. Rangers up 2-1, and it's a chance now for Luke Jackson to pick up another save.
Well, the right-hander slider first about 50% of the time. Throw a 4-seamer and a curveball also. There's his numbers this season. He'll be looking for his 9th save.
All right, he gets the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Colorado here. Ryan McMahon, the batter, and he'll hit that right back off of Jackson, and it lands in no man's land. Whoa. Now, Chris Martin made a great play on a comebacker last inning. That one was 111 miles per hour. Matt Lucero, head athletic trainer, out there quickly to double check on it.
It hit somewhere on the arm. I forgot. Maybe on his throwing wrist. It's not a good sign. He's coming off the field, and that was a direct hit.
Tricep, maybe?
I think it was.
I hoped it was. I think it's above the elbow. No, I don't know. It's hard to tell. The way he's holding that wrist, so you're right.
Yep.
Whatever it is not good. Luke Jackson heading upstairs to get medical attention, and now in an emergency spot, Jacob Webb will come on. He'll have all the time he needs to prepare. Ugh, boy, Rangers see their closer have to walk off the field after taking a line drive. We'll be back with the rest of the night after this. Well, it's been a weird one here tonight. Ninth inning, Rangers leading 2-1, and the Rockies have the lead man on, and that's one thing. But this is the big thing. This line drive up the middle. I
think it was the wrist or the hand. It looked like he brought it in to try to avoid, making contact with the baseball, and brought it really right up into the path of the ball. You can just see. I'm actually surprised that Jackson wasn't down. Yeah, kind of on the back of that wrist, like on the high side toward the forearm.
So I'll tell you one better. I almost wonder if it ran up just up near the thumb index finger part. I don't know. It was hard to tell there. We'll find out afterward. Meanwhile, Jacob Webb will have exactly all the time he needs.
Well, yeah, and there's his numbers. He's got 6 career saves, so this is a save opportunity for him. I think the scary thing is when you see a player walk off the field immediately, usually there's some conversation, some type of consultation out there, and it's not really a good sign. You hope for good news, but it might not be the best news.
Now, in a weird way, Rangers leading 2-1. This has been a frustrating night for that man, Bruce Bochy. Offense has sputtered. Well, the pitching's been good, but that last line drive was frustrating. There's something about these Rockies, right? Remember in spring training, you referenced it earlier, Murph. This was a tough scene with Tolia at the bat when a comebacker got John Gray.
Yeah, similar spot too. And you hate the fact that it's on the throwing hand for both of them, because obviously with Gray, if it's on your glove hand, give it time to heal, but you're able to throw in the process. Maybe you play catch and somebody's catching the ball for you, and there's ways to get around it. When it's on your throwing hand, there's no way around it. Like, you've got to be patient, and then you've got to build your arm back up again.
Well, Jacob Webb, he's ready to go. It's been over a year since his last save. And he gets a ground ball here, second base, quick shovel to second for one, and the throw goes wide of the bag. Fortunately, Barnhart there to back it up. And Goodman will stay at first base. A little tangle up at second base, force that throw offline.
This ball wasn't hit too well. It's 63 miles on the exit velocity. So you're going to have to be quick if you're going to turn two. I don't even know if it could have been done. So Zeke does everything that he can. I think he's trying to avoid McMahon and make the throw at the same time. Now, here's the interesting thing. We were talking matchups a little while ago. Now you got a righty and you've got a lefty up there, or at least a switch hitter that's hitting from the left side. Now Webb has been pretty dominant against the lefties this year. Hitters just 2 for 27 from the left side. 0.74 batting average without an extra base hit. And that's in large part because of the changeup. He loves going to that pitch. Throws it about 40% of the time, I believe.
He's ahead of Tolia, 0-2. One out, ninth inning. Man at first is Goodman. And that one is hit just past second into right field for a base hit. Goodman drops anchor at second base. Well, now the Rockies have that tying run in scoring position.
This looks like a changeup, 85 miles an hour, just below the zone. Hook just in the hole to where Marcus Semien, in his diving effort, can't come up with it.
Here comes Mike Maddox. Meanwhile, a pinch runner at first base. Owen Miller will take over at first, and he's an important base runner. Maddox, Webb, and Barnhart talking things over. Now a ground ball takes care of everything here if he can get it. Last save for Webb, it was last May 8th. It was in Washington. Webb was with the Orioles last year and saved a win over the Nationals. 7-6 victory. He gave up a run in that save. He does not have that luxury here tonight with just a 2-1 lead. Forced into duty as an emergency when Luke Jackson knocked out after taking a line drive somewhere off his right arm or hand. Bouchard the batter, and he'll take outside.
Well, the good news is the Rockies came into tonight with runners in scoring position situations. They were second in baseball with grounding into double plays. Well, they already grounded into one tonight, so they are now tied for first with 14 of those. We wouldn't mind if they take the lead.
Yeah. One more time tonight. Rockies 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Webb's 2-0. Well, that one's been a strike quite a bit tonight. You heard the fans, 23,000 plus, registering their opinion. It was off. That one's up. Bases are loaded. Oh boy, now the go-ahead run moves into scoring position. So Webb making a bit of a mess now in this ninth inning. Farmer the batter. Pinch hit in the seventh inning and walked. Corners in a little. The pitch to Farmer. That one is off the plate. Fans getting a little restless. Farmer has hit into 3 double plays this year. How about this first time with the bases loaded, and he takes a strike, 1-1.
Now you're assuming if the ball goes to second, third, or short that they're going to go around the horn. They're going to turn a double play. My question would be, with Berger playing halfway between first and second.
Yeah, bouncer third base. Young has it, touches the bag, throws to first. Double play, and this one is over. And the answer to your question is Berger can backpedal quickly. 2-1 Rangers.
Great job by Jacob Webb getting his first save in over a year. Big swing by Wyatt Langford. Maybe it wasn't the prettiest win, but great way to end it. Great job by Josh Young, and we'll take it. A win's a win.
That win is a win. Good defense, a big part of it tonight. The guys just stepping in some big spots. That was quite a situation for Webb, but he got it done. And he's pumped up. First save of the year for him. We'll take a break, come back and wrap it up for you here in just a moment.